fellow collectors, Frank here, back with another TTM Success video. TTM standing for Through the Mail Success Autograph. I have 3 in the box to share today. Let's get right at it. First in the box here, we have a 1-for-1 in 43 days out of Wilmington, Delaware. We have Mr. Chuck Schilling, the original Schilling for the Red Sox. And this 1966 Topps and ballpoint pen. And a little bit answer questions there that I'll read later. So we have Charles Thomas Schilling. Chuck, born October 25th, 1937 in Brooklyn, New York, 83 years young. Mr. Schilling was a right-handed batting throwing second baseman that played 5 seasons in the major with the Boston Red Sox from 1961 to 65. Mr. Schilling grew up in Long Island and was a graduate of St. Mary's High School in Manhasset, New York. He was initially signed by the Red Sox as an amateur free agent in September 1958. After 2 seasons in the minors where he hit .321 batting average, he was called up in 1961 with another Long Islander, future Hall of Famer Carly Yastrzemski. With the personal endorsement from future Hall of Famer, the late great Red Sox second baseman Bobby Doerr. Through most of the 50s, the Red Sox had struggled to find a second baseman who could handle the position since Doerr had retired after the 51 season. Schilling had a very fine first campaign in 1961, getting career highs in batting average 259, 100 career high in hits 167, runs scored 87, run batted in 62 in 158 games. He committed just 8 errors and 846 chances for a league best fielding percentage of .991. He won the Red Sox's Most Valuable Player Award for 1961. After the 61 season, though, unfortunately, he suffered a wrist injury causing him to miss over 40 games and impairing his batting ability for the rest of his career. During his 5-season career, Schilling batted .239 with 470 hits and 1,969 at-bats with 23 homers, 146 RBIs. In retirement, he returned to Long Island to teach secondary school mathematics and play competitive softball until he was 69 years old. And he answered a few questions for me, which I always enjoy. Mr. Schilling, who was your favorite teammate?
Carl Yastrzemski, the man they call Yaz, we love him.
The man they call Yaz, yeah. Who was the toughest pitcher you had success against? Jim Bunnan, Hall of Fame pitcher Jim Bunnan. He was quite successful against him, hitting a career .300 batting average versus Mr. Bunnan and 50 career at-bats with 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 5 RBIs. And did you have a job in the offseason during your baseball career? He says yes. Did not elaborate, but most of those players did back in that time. So thank you, Mr. Schilling. Next in the box here, we have a 1-for-1 in 12 days from Metroplex, Michigan. We have Mr. Ted Kaczynski, looking quite nice there in this 1954 Topps reprint in blue ink. And he answered a few questions I'll get to in just a moment. We have Theodore Stanley Kaczynski. Ted, born January 25th, 1945 in Hamtramck, Michigan, 86 years young, a right-handed batting throwing shortstop that played 6 seasons in the majors with the Philadelphia Phillies, 1953 to 58. He was signed as an amateur free agent by the Phillies on June 11th, 1951. Kaczynski was a classic slick-fielding slap hitter. He used the entire field to his advantage. After spending 2.5 years in the minor, he made his major league debut on June 25th, 1953, hitting leadoff. In this game, he had 3 hits and 6 at-bats and drove in 4 runs from the top of the order to lead the Phillies to a 13-2 victory over the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Kaczynski became the first player since 1920, the first season run batted in record as an official stat, to drive in at least 4 runs as a shortstop in his major league debut. He finished the season with a .217 batting average in 95 games. His most productive seasons came in 1956, when he posted career highs in games, home runs, and hits while hitting .211. That season, he belted a 3-run homer on April 22nd, and an inside the Park Grand Slam on August 8 to provide 2 of the 19 victories of Phillies pitching ace Robin Roberts. He also started a triple play in the same game as his Inside the Park Grand Slam, a feat that would not be duplicated until Angel Pagan did so on May 19, 2010. Kaczynski was a career .217 hitter with 14 home runs and 116 RBIs in 417 career games. Following his playing career, Kaczynski coached in the Detroit Tigers organization, also worked as assistant coach for the baseball team at the University of Detroit Mercy, which he also attended. So, thank you, Mr. Kaczynski. He answered a few questions for me here. Who was your favorite teammate? Pitcher Robin Roberts. Who was the toughest pitcher you had success against? The Hall of Famer Warren Spahn of the Boston Braves. He had a career .250 and 36 at-bats for Spahn with a double, a triple, a homer, and 3 RBIs. And do you have any hobbies? If so, what do you like to do? I love to golf and play at least three times a week. I also have, I think I said 7 great-grandchildren that I enjoy. Thank you for being a baseball fan. Ted K. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Kaczynski. Last but certainly not least, we have a 1-for-1. This was a private sign-in from December 13th, 2020, coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. We have Mr. Tom Satch Sanders. In this Raise the Banner card here, we have Thomas Ernest Sanders Satch, born November 8th, 1938, in New York, New York, 82 years young. Satch was a 6'6" power forward who played 13 seasons in the NBA for the hometown team, the Boston Celtics, from 1960 to 1973. Satch was drafted in the first round, 8th pick overall by the Celtics in the 1960 NBA draft out of New York University. Tom Sanders was given the nickname Satch as a shortened version of Satchel Paige, one of his baseball heroes growing up in New York. When Satch joined the Celtics for the 60-61 season, the Celtics had won the NBA championship title during the previous 2 seasons and during 3 of the past 4 seasons. The first 3 titles of the Celtics' legendary 17 all-time NBA titles. With Satch on board, the Celtics went on to win the next 6 in a row NBA titles, and he won a total of 8 titles with the Celtics before he retired after the 72-73 season. There are only 2 players in NBA history, Hall of Famers Bill Russell and Sam Jones, both of whom happened to be his teammates who had more championship rings than Sanders did, his 8. Playing along stars and future Hall of Famers like Sam Jones, Bill Russell, Tommy Heinsohn, John Havlicek, and Bob Cousy, Sanders wasn't leaned on to provide starry numbers. Instead, he was given a role to rebound and play shutdown defense. Sanders accepted his rugged role with grace and dominance. He was the man that Coach Red Auerbach would use to slow down stars such as Willis Reed, Elgin Baylor, and Jerry Lucas. Without his defense and strong rebounding, Boston's dynasty may not have been quite as prominent. He was a career 9.6 points per game, 6.3 total rebounds per game, and 1.1 assists per game in 916 career games. Satch's number 16 was retired by the Boston Celtics on January 19, 1973. He was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame in 2011. And as you see there, you got the inscription here. Quite nice. At no extra charge. I think I paid, I want to say $15 for this. I think it's $15 if I remember right. After retirement, Sanders went on to dabble in coaching, both at the Celtics and at the collegiate level, and had a successful career as director of player programs with the NBA. So, looking quite nice there. I'm going to put that down here, and I'll put Satch right there. And I'll just show you here private sign-in. I'll show you here the private sign-in here if you want to take a look at that. They have a lot of local New England sports stars sign-ins for here in Massachusetts. So there's the website address, and you can take a look at that if you would like. Anyways, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all having a good weekend. Recording this on the Saturday before Christmas. Hope you're going to all having a good holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, a whole good happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Well, take care. God bless and peace.